Am I the a-hole for not giving my son the same opportunity due to his choices? I 56M have 4 kids together with my wife 54F. We have 3 daughters, Chloe 32F, Wendella 30F and Emily 24F. We also have 1 son, Lucas 26M. Me and my wife have since the birth of each one of our kids put in monthly payments in a college fund for them. The amount in the funds was enough to cover for all 4 kids' college education. Our kids all choose different paths in life, whether it was their degree, place of education or what type of school, they all went with something different. When our oldest, Chloe, graduated high school, she talked to us about how she was unsure what she wanted to do with her life and had been thinking about taking a gap year. We talked with her and told her it was her choice, that if that was what she wanted she should do it and not rush into education. She did take 2 years. During these years she worked and in an agreement with me and my wife paid us $250 in rent each month to continue living with us. She still ate our food, we cooked for her and still bought her necessities. The $250 were put in a savings account that we gave her access to when she and her now husband was beginning to talk about buying a house. Even though the situation was not the same with each kid, they all knew about this and the plan for how the money would be used. Wendella lived with us for 3 years after college. Emily lived with us during college. They both took part in this. The issue is with my son. He, like his oldest sister, wanted to take a gap year. We encouraged him to do so. He asked if he could stay with us. We told him yes, but told him about the rent situation. He was not happy with this, saying that he was our son and we should want him to live with us for how long he would need to. We explained what the money would be used for. He said he did not give a shit. He was very angry with us for a long time and ended up staying with a friend of his. This all happened around 8 years ago. We have a good relationship now with both him and his wife, whom are accepting our first grandchild. He recently brought up how all his sisters got money to buy a house, showed me pics of a house that he and his wife had been looking at. I said it looked nice, to which he responded with asking when I could give him the money. I told him that he made a choice when he was 18 and that he would not receive any money. He said that it was unfair and that he was young and dumb and should not be punished for it. I told him that I did not have that kind of money to just give him. He left the house after arguing a bit more. My wife and his sisters all are on my side. However, his wife and my mom have said that I am in the wrong and I should want my grandbaby to have a place to live and should not punish him for mistakes he did as a young boy. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad that he shouldn't have asked me a question if he wasn't prepared for the honest answer? I, 25F, am not that close to my dad anymore. I was until I was about 13. But that changed. He either only realized it now or only started to care now that I'm living a more independent life and he's not as involved as he wants to be. I was 8 when I lost my mom and we were as close as ever, but I needed him more. Then when I was 11 he remarried and he became a stepdad to a girl who was 10 at the time. Now, this is where full honesty comes in. I was jealous as hell that my dad was trying to bond with her and that he called her his daughter and us his girls right away. It made me feel less special. It made me feel like I didn't matter as much because how could someone so new to him be equal to me after hardly any time? Every time he spent time with her I felt sick. He still spent time with me, but after about 6 or 7 months of marriage, he started to spend more time with his stepdaughter. I was 13. My dad said how much he preferred hanging out with her over me because they had similar interests. He said he couldn't spend enough time with his stepdaughter and he was hoping I would hit the teen phase of not wanting my parents around me that much. He didn't say it to me, but I heard him say it. His best friend was one of the people he did say it to and he was like, "Dude, don't say that out loud," and my dad said most parents probably feel that way. He said it wasn't like he would ever tell me that to my face. Then he admitted he also resented me for not wanting his wife the way her daughter wanted him. He wanted us to be the perfect little family and we looked like a step-family where the step is always used because I didn't really want his wife for stuff. I gave him his wish and over the years he increased the amount of time he spent with his stepdaughter. They could do stuff together up to 4 times a week. That was until she was 16 and wanted space. He was devastated by that and that crushed me. So I decided that was all I needed to know. He approached me with the question of why after I moved in with my boyfriend and his dad helped us move stuff. My dad said he expected to be called and then he asked me why I had pulled away from him. So I told him everything from the jealousy to what I heard him say and I told him I decided that I wasn't going to keep close like I had when he felt that way. Dad was offended that I had ever been jealous. He told me it was disgusting to want to deny his stepdaughter the chance at a dad. He also told me he should be allowed to have interests in common with someone other than me. I told him he was. But I was also a kid who lost my mom and clung to my sole living parent. He then accused me of manipulating him by saying all that and I told him that he shouldn't have asked a question if he wasn't prepared for an honest answer. Am I the a-hole for resenting my dead sister all my life? For context, I 38 female got engaged to my now husband last June. My mother has never supported me and was indifferent to the proposal, which I had no problem with. At my wedding my husband's parents made a beautiful speech that brought me and my husband to tears. When my father and mother got onto the platform my heart sunk as I had the understanding this speech would have nothing to do with me or my relationship. My mother and my older sister had been in a car accident when I was 12 and my sister had not made it. It was heartbreaking. My mother, my father and I had grieved ever since that day, and I will never forget my beautiful sister Adelaide and her beautiful smile. My mother had it the worst of us and separated herself from me and my father ever since, and our relationship has been in shambles. She constantly makes every day, even my birthday, about Adelaide, which always annoyed me slightly, but I always rubbed it off as I wanted to be a good daughter. But my wedding day was the last straw. When she got to the top of the platform, she proceeded to take the mic from my dad and make a speech about how her one wish in life was to see Adelaide get married and live a beautiful life. She went on about her grieving process and healing journey at a yoga retreat, not once mentioning my name or my finances. She spoke for about 5 minutes and then in tears ended the speech with, "Now my Sarah gets to live the life Adelaide deserved but was taken away from too soon." I was absolutely furious, but I did not want to ruin the day or let her get the best of me, so I didn't make a scene, but I did not clap either, and nor did my fiancée. After the wedding I did not approach her or even speak to her for weeks. I figured she understood why, but yesterday evening she came to me in my fiancé's apartment demanding answers. I laughed in her face and told her she should know that speech was not acceptable at my wedding and I wish for her to apologize. She refused, so I just shut the door. My phone is blowing up with calls from both sides of my family. My fiancé's family completely supports me, but most of my family is, in their words, disgusted by my actions. Am I the a-hole for refusing to adhere to my Sil's Christmas gift list? For Christmas, my 30F husband, 30M, and I are hosting my parents, my brother Chris, 34M, his wife Amy, 33F, their 2 sons, 6 and 4, my sister Lucia, 27F, and her boyfriend Alex, 30M. The background to all this is that Amy complains about every gift she is given by any of us. Every Christmas she makes faces and snide remarks about the things she's gifted. For example, last year me and my husband, gifted Amy and Chris a joint present of an expensive coffee maker, which is the same one we have at home that Chris loved when they visited. Amy's only remark, not even a thank you, was, "Oh well, this isn't really for me, is it?" and then to make a great show of being annoyed that she didn't get a separate gift. A few days ago, Amy included the whole family on a group email with a Christmas list for her and the kids, saying that she would only accept gifts from this list. On her list was expensive perfumes, links to expensive clothing items, and designer handbags. I was livid. My parents were offended as well but didn't want to say anything to Amy, but I wasn't going to hold back in the face of what I felt was grossly entitled behavior. I replied to Amy's email saying I wouldn't be purchasing anything on that list and that if she wanted to shop for a Louis Vuitton wallet I was happy to put her in touch with my saleswoman. I also said that if she didn't like what she received for Christmas she was welcome to just leave it at my house. Chris blew up at me saying Amy was just trying to make everything easier for everyone by giving suggestions. I disagree and told him I think Amy was just trying to find a sneaky way to get a few things she normally can't afford for free, which in my opinion is not in the spirit of Christmas, and I think she's being extremely childish. My parents think I shouldn't have said anything, but Lucia says I absolutely should have because she wasn't going to be spending hundreds on Amy's Christmas list either. Was I the a-hole for not going along with it? Am I the a-hole for letting my 16-year-old daughter drink a glass of wine? Last night, I, F46, had a glass of wine while watching a movie with my daughter, F16, and she asked me if she could try some. Normally, I'm strict with my children when it comes to alcoholic beverages, but I didn't think a little wine would hurt, so I poured her a glass. I told her that this would be a once-in-a-blue-moon exception. My husband, M48, on the other hand, was not okay with this. When he came into the living room and saw her with the wine in her hand, he lost his mind. He started shouting at me, asking why the hell I let her drink alcohol underaged, and said she could easily become addicted to it. I immediately felt bad and apologized, but my husband is still angry with me over this. I don't think he trusts me anymore.